Welcome to Sense and Nonsense A to Z, where we pick topics based off of the letter of the day. Today is episode 7 of season 1, featuring the letter G.
We're family and we're your hosts, AT and Z. So let's get started. So today's hello is going to be something very familiar.
Okay.
Guten Tag. How many years of German did you do?
6.
6.
Guten Tag.
Guten Tag.
Guten Tag.
So good day.
Good day. Yes.
And good news.
Good news?
I have some good news.
Oh, really?
Yeah. After 3 months of negotiations, Major League Baseball and the Players Association finally reached a new collective bargaining agreement.
Really?
Hallelujah.
That's awesome.
It's done. They salvaged a full season, 162 games. There was a thought that they were going to have to cut back on the season, but they're going to play all the games. However, we're going to have the opening day is going to be delayed.
Mm-hmm.
Most teams are going to start April 7th, and the missed games are going to end up being double headers, which is fine. I mean, we used to have double headers all the time.
All the time. Yeah.
And a couple rule changes. Now, the National League is going to have the DH, designated hitter, a full time. No longer just during interleague play. It's going to be constant. So that should be interesting and a little unfortunate because the Mets have some good hitting pitchers, and that's something that you looked forward to because we had a little advantage there, but whatever.
Mm-hmm.
It's always best to keep your pitchers off the bases anyway. But
yeah, you don't want to give them a reason to get hurt. Well, unnecessary risk getting hurt.
And I got to tell you something, Jacob DeGrom, even he's a righty pitcher, he bats lefty, so his right arm is exposed. Yeah. A couple little changes as well. They've expanded the playoffs to 12 teams, 6 teams in each league. And there's a couple of minor league tweaks that they did with the draft lottery and draft picks. But the major thing is the DH for the National League.
Wow. All right.
I know. So season salvaged.
How about that?
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
Well, it's nice to get a little good news.
For change.
Exactly.
So what's going on with you, Z?
Well, I watched The Marvelous Mrs. Maisel last night. Did you watch
the end? The last 2 episodes?
Yeah.
Yes, I did. Yeah. I guess they saved the best for last for this season.
Well, they surely took their time getting there. They really did. They didn't give you a lot of hope. The last episode for me was really the one. I mean,
me too.
Lenny Bruce, he's the magic of that show.
Yeah.
I know this is the end, but him bowling her out at Carnegie Hall on stage for the choices that she's making, and after he went to bat for her with Tony Bennett's people, and
really stunk.
She just crapped all over that, and she didn't even take the call, and he broke my heart. He had me in tears.
No.
At the end there.
He's a good actor.
He's a great actor.
He's a really good actor.
Yeah. I liked him a lot at the start, but I'm liking him more and more as we go on. I like I said before, I don't know if I said this on the recording, but I've said it to you. I look forward to his part. I can't wait to get to him because I know it's going to be something good. And it was a little bit devastating the last time we saw him. He was kind of a jerk. He was being a jerk. And I'm like, no,
I know. I did not like him being portrayed as a junkie jerk.
No, I didn't like that at all.
We all know that he's going to die.
Right.
And I was doing some of the calculations with the Jackie Kennedy scene. I was not crazy about that. I did not think that would be realistic. That woman had so much class. She would not sit there and start bawling. That would not happen with that woman.
No. But how insensitive was it to tell an infidelity joke in a room full of married women?
Yeah.
Especially at a time when a lot of these women were being cheated on.
Yeah. Yep.
It's like, and you were cheated on too. And how did that feel to you? And how would you have felt sitting in an audience having somebody make a joke about infidelity? And how in the world would you think they would ever be on your side for that?
No, I really, really don't know. And even if it's something that she wasn't aware of,
right,
that happened. I mean, obviously, but still, in the whole, it's not something to discuss.
No.
But where I was going with this was that that's obviously the lead up to Kennedy being elected in 1960. Okay.
Right.
So that means that they're hopefully for season 5, they're not going to kill off Lenny Bruce because he died in 66. Right. So they're not going to cover 6 years in one season.
No, I can't see that.
I'm hoping they don't go there. That's my concern for the next season, which is the finale we had talked about.
Yeah.
Final season, season 5.
They're lucky that they got that. They had that in advance, because if they had to make that decision based on reviews and ratings for this season, I don't think that would have come through for them.
Yeah.
That would have been unfortunate, but I could have understood.
Yeah.
A couple things that I do want to say about the last 2. Her stand up at the strip club when she was talking about being in a hospital, that was decent stand up. That was the first decent stand up I've seen for her all season. You know, it was touching, but it was decent at least. And I loved Abe with the obituary.
Yeah, that was great when he read it to.
Yeah. And everybody else, it was like lost on everybody else, but it wasn't lost on Moish.
No, not at all.
You know, very and he touching. Said thank you. It was very touching. That was very touching.
Yeah, I liked the last episode. I thought it was well done.
I did too.
I really do.
Yeah, I did too. And I wasn't crazy about Lenny and Midge getting together.
Me neither.
I was never crazy about that track.
Me neither.
But I like the way he handled it, especially because they're alluding to his drug use. Obviously, they're alluding to it.
Yeah.
And when she tried to turn it around on him, and he was like, "No.
Yeah, we're
not talking about me.
Yeah,
we're talking about you." And I thought that was really kind of evolved of him, to just be like, "No, we're putting that aside. We're not having that discussion. You're not going to try and derail me about what I'm going to say to you." Yeah, that was really cool. But
it really was. That was the best part.
It was the best part.
I agree. So more of that. Hopefully more of that for season 5.
Yeah. So again, we're in the position of fingers crossed that the last season is going to be good, because this is exactly the same spot we were in when season 3 ended. We were like, oh my God, I hope the next season is better. And it really kind of wasn't until now.
The last episode.
We're now in the same boat, and fingers crossed that we don't have another god-awful ending.
Yeah. Yeah, there you go. So did you hear the latest about Tom Brady?
I did. Yeah.
I just knew it. He announced on Twitter, "These past 2 months, I've realized my place is still on the field." Mm-hmm. So he's coming back for a 23rd season.
Mm-hmm. I knew it.
Yeah, I did too.
I told you that last game is going to stick in his craw. A guy like that does not want to go out on a loss.
No. I mean, it was his best season ever, but still, he's a team guy. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So he's coming back for another season. So we'll see what Tampa Bay's got in store.
I can't say I'm surprised, but all eyes are going to be on him. I mean, for sure.
Yeah. And I think that this is his final season.
Yeah, this is going to be it, regardless of what happens. But
I mean, how many times can you come back?
Well, if you're the Rolling Stones, a lot. But
they're kind of athletes, right?
Yeah,
when you think about
I mean, it takes stamina to do what they do.
Yeah, so for sure.
In other news, William Hurt died.
Can you believe this?
I know.
I mean, the older we get, the more and more we're going to hear about stuff. But that hurt. That I mean, William Hurt dying hurt.
Yeah, he was only 71, and he was still acting. He was still working. He just had a movie come out. He was in a TV show. He's in pre-production for a bunch of other movies. It's not like the guy gave up.
No, not at all. I remember him in Body Heat and The Big Chill. Those were the 2 movies I always correlated with that guy. But
for me, it was Broadcast News and Michael. That film, Michael, with John Travolta in it. Yeah. And he was, of course, he was in a bunch of Marvel movies. He was in like Captain America and the Avengers and stuff. So
great actor.
Won an Oscar.
Yeah.
he won Best Actor in the movie that he waived his salary for so it could get made.
That's awesome.
Yeah, generous guy, really nice guy, down to earth, never considered himself a star, always considered himself an actor. You know, took it slow, was in like 60 plays before he ever made a movie. I mean, the guy just wanted to act. He didn't care about being famous or stardom or any of that.
Right. I just looked him up. He was born in DC.
Yes, he
was. And his birthday is the same as my dad, your grandfather.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's just shy of his 72nd birthday. Yeah. I know.
Stinks.
It really does. He will be missed. He leaves 4 kids behind. You know.
Yeah.
It's a bummer.
Big bummer. Okay, 10 questions, G edition. You ready?
Yes.
Here's the first one. What gives you goosebumps?
Music, songs, Freddie Mercury, John Lennon, Paul McCartney, those kind of guys. Reliably, those kind of songs.
Okay.
Yeah. Right. What about you?
A good song. It's funny that you said that. A good song that I like a lot gives me goosebumps when I hear it.
Yeah.
Okay. Name a George.
George Harrison.
Oh, good. You know what I thought you were going to say?
What?
Washington.
Oh, he's a good one.
That's a good George.
But George Harrison was the first one that popped into my mind.
That's the idea. Okay, good.
Yeah.
Good one.
Thanks.
All right. When is the last time you parked your vehicle in the garage?
2011, maybe.
11. Okay. So over 10 years ago, huh?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, a long time.
Okay. I think that's true for a lot of people.
Yeah. My garage is a storage area, really.
Yeah. I park mine every day.
I know.
Yeah.
I know. Don't taunt me with your
I'm sorry.
Clean garage.
I'm sorry. It's just clean enough to get the vehicle in and that's it. Okay, next question. For good luck, 4-leaf clover or horseshoe?
I'm going to say the 4-leaf clover because it's a little bit more portable than a horseshoe is.
Where's your pocketbook so heavy? Well,
it makes a good weapon. No, here's my trusty horseshoe. No, I just think it would probably be easier to carry around a 4-leaf clover.
Oh, true.
Yeah, so I'm going to go with that. What about rabbit's foot? Ooh.
You know, I don't like that idea.
I don't either.
That was a thing like back in the 60s.
Yeah. It wasn't a real rabbit's foot, was it?
Yeah, it was.
Oh, gross.
Yeah, it was.
That's gross.
Yeah. Okay, next question. Do you believe in ghosts?
I don't believe in ghosts. No. I don't discount that they may exist.
Right.
But I don't believe in ghosts. Like, I'm not like, oh, this place is haunted kind of thing, you know, like I don't, but I believe in energy. So I believe that energy leaves echoes and things like that. So, but
maybe I should have reworded that.
Ghosts.
I should have said, do you believe that ghosts exist?
I don't believe they exist, but I also don't discount the fact that they may.
Okay.
You know, yeah.
All right, next one. Name something that you own which is green.
Little guy has a blanket that's green. I have a couple of green shirts. I have green frames.
That's all you got? You got green what?
Green frames, you know, picture frames.
Picture frames, okay.
Yeah, my downstairs half bath is green. It's got green stuff.
Okay.
Is that not good enough?
It's okay.
A vase. I have a vase. I mean, it doesn't feature very heavily in my decor.
Oh, well, then this next question is going to be a moot point.
What is it?
What's your favorite shade of green?
Money.
That color?
The color of money.
Color of money?
Money. Well, I guess my favorite shade of green is kind of like a green blue. Teal's my favorite.
Oh, okay.
Shade of green, yeah.
All right. Yeah. Mine is lime. I like the lime green.
Yeah, that's
my favorite
too. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. When were you last at a Gap store?
A very long time, because I do that shopping online. Gap store 5-6 years ago.
I can't even remember.
Me and Pinochle used to go a lot. So years ago.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Next question.
Okay.
Do you own any Go-Go's music?
No, I don't.
You don't?
No.
I do. I like the Go-Go's.
Okay. I know you do. Yeah, you do.
Yeah. Okay. Last question. Google or Alexa?
Oh, don't make me choose.
Uh-huh.
I Google constantly. I'm always Googling. Google. Yeah. If I have to choose one, I'm keeping Google.
Okay. All righty. Talk about Google. I have a cute little story.
Okay.
I had seen a Mother's Day card that said, like on the outside of it, said, Mom, why is the sky blue? Mom, how do I make lemonade? Mom, where are my shoes? And on the inside, it said, moms are the original Google.
Oh, yeah.
Isn't that sweet?
Yeah. That was fun. 10 questions.
Yeah.
Good questions. I think I need to clean out my garage.
Okay. Are we ready to play Sense or Nonsense?
Yeah.
All right. Here's our topic, the country of Greece.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I figured since it was really relevant to the both of us, I'd throw that in.
Yeah, it's kind of a no-brainer. Yeah.
Well, yeah. Okay, so sense or nonsense? There are over 3,000 Greek islands. What do you think?
I think that makes sense. Yes.
Actually, there are over 6,000 Greek islands, and only 227 of them are inhabited. How about that? Yeah,
that's more than I thought. Yeah,
a ton.
Yeah.
Okay, second question.
Okay.
Sense or nonsense? The yo-yo was invented in Greece. Sense or nonsense?
God, I hope not. I'm going to say nonsense.
Even though people think that it was invented in China, it was actually first mentioned in Greek history, and they're thinking it's about 500 BC.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
The yo-yo?
The yo-yo. Yeah.
All right.
Okay, last question.
Okay.
The first recorded Olympic Games took place before Christ.
Yes. Sense. Yes.
Correct. 776 BC in Olympia, Greece. And it was believed that it was really started 500 years earlier than that. At one point, it was part of a religious festival to honor Zeus. Consisted of a foot race, long jump, discus, javelin throw, and wrestling. How about
cool? I think they did that. They did that naked.
I believe you're correct.
Yes.
Sense.
Yes.
Yeah. All right. Some facts. First modern day Olympic Games were the Summer Olympics in Athens in 1896. 13 nations, 43 events.
Not naked.
No, not naked in 1896. Greece is the number 3 olive producer behind Spain and Italy. And of course, the Kalamata olives are the most famous.
Yeah.
Of which my grandfather, your great-grandfather, was born. There you go. Each Greek consumes about 5 gallons of olive oil a year.
What?
Yes. As opposed to an average person in the US consumes about 1/3 of the gallon.
Holy cow.
5 gallons a year.
Oh my
person.
God.
Yeah, that's a lot.
That's a lot.
Well, I mean, you pour it on everything. You pour it on everything. You dip bread in it.
Yeah.
You
do everything. Everything is an olive oil.
Yeah. Santorini is home to black, white, and red beaches. And the black and red is from the volcanoes from years ago. The last time it erupted in Santorini was 1950. Greek is the oldest spoken language in Europe, over 3,000 years. More tourists visit Greece every year than the entire Greek population. In 2019, it was 34.2 mil, as opposed to 10.7 million residents. And tourism accounts for about 20% of the country's GDP.
Right.
Wow. Right?
Yeah, I knew that. Yeah.
1/3 of the population lives in Athens.
Really?
Yeah. And a couple more things I got for you.
Okay.
When in Greece, don't use the OK sign.
You can't use thumbs up or okay?
okay is a sexual insult.
Oh
and
my God.
thumbs up, as we talked about previously, means up yours. Yeah. Here's something very interesting I found. Ikaria, Greece, is one of 5 blue zones. Do you know what a blue zone is?
No.
Okay. It's where people live the longest and are the healthiest. So there's 5 areas: Okinawa, Japan; Sardinia, Italy; Nicoya, Costa Rica; Loma Linda, California; and Ikaria, Greece.
That's all that olive oil.
That's right.
Yeah.
It's definitely a thing.
Yeah.
So Greece is made up of pretty much 80% mountains. And if you look at the mountainside, you'll see all the white concrete buildings.
Right.
Within there, you see the blue doors and the blue roofs. There's a purpose for that blue.
Mm-hmm.
It's actually called Kaianos blue. That blue is done to keep evil spirits away.
So it's like the red doors in Chinese culture, feng shui, and all that.
Right, feng shui.
Okay.
Right. All right. So as you know, I'm very proud of my heritage and your heritage. Very proud of it. And the most proud is that democracy began in Greece.
Right.
And the only way I can explain it is by doing it like Gus from My Big Fat Greek Wedding. So democracy comes from 2 words. Demos, meaning the people, and kratos, meaning the rule of the country. So democracy. There you go.
Okay. Do you have to put Windex on something now?
Yeah.
Okay.
In my house, it was alcohol. I've got one last thing for you.
Okay.
More than 150,000 words in the English language are derived from Greek words.
150,000?
There you go.
Wow. I want to mention this now because we have no numbers in our favorites categories. The movie 300 was a big deal, right? Okay. It was basically the Battle of Thermopylae, heightened in like a graphic novel sense. And Gerard Butler played King Leonidas. Okay. And he was the king of Sparta. So he did that so well, and the Greeks were so honored by that he was bestowed with the honor of carrying the Olympic torch from the town of Mistras to the town of Sparta during
where
the Greek...
happens to be my grandmother's from.
Right.
Your great grandmother on my father's side. Yeah.
For the 2020 relay for carrying the Olympic torch.
Very cool.
And he got that in right before it was called off because of fear of the coronavirus. So because a ton of people showed up. They said don't show up, but they showed up to see him anyway because he did This is Sparta. And he is an honorary citizen of the municipality of Sparta. Isn't that cool?
That is cool.
Just because he played King Leonidas, but he did a really good job. I mean, he did.
And he looked good.
Oh, he looked amazing. Are you kidding me? He was amazing.
He looked really good.
I mean, that Sparta kick is infamous. I just had to bring that up because we'll never do 300. I might do Jerry Butler because I like him a lot, but this fits. So,
yeah. Cool.
Yeah.
How about if I start this off with my letter G peeve?
Okay.
All right. Which is very relevant right now. Gas prices.
Yeah.
Prices are going through the roof. It's just nuts. They're over $5 a gallon in California. This price gouging is just getting way out of hand.
It's over $4 here in North Carolina.
Yeah, same thing here in New Jersey. Yep. Ridiculous.
It's ridiculous.
I know. I have a temporary solution.
Okay.
I mean, it's not a total solution, but it's some sort of assistance. Why don't they just temporarily remove the excise taxes? I mean, give us a hand here.
I don't know. I don't know what they use to fund that.
I have some numbers here. Pennsylvania pays the most. It's over 58 cents per gallon. California, over 53. Washington State, about 52. New Jersey, over 41 cents a gallon. And New York, over 40 cents a gallon. I mean, if they just give us just a little time,
like a month or so
until they can get the supply chain stuff and what's going on with the Ukraine stuff give us a break here. I think that would be a good temporary solution. I can't say it's a solution, but it's, would be a little assistance. And by the way, we only import 3.3% of oil from Russia. So it's not much. Obviously, we're being taken advantage of with price gouging.
Well, it's a world economy. So,
it is. It's a world thing. I mean, it's not just our country. Right. It's per barrel, blah, 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 blah. I get it. But I mean, to help us out here in the States, I mean, come on.
We are too dependent on it. It's been shown to us time and time again how dependent we are on it, and that we need to do something about that.
Yeah.
But the powers that be, or the powers that pay the powers that be, have decided that they're going to run this into the ground, literally.
Yeah.
So any measures that have been taken to kind of remove ourselves from that dependency are very slow going, and they don't get a lot of support.
It's going to take forever. Absolutely. I mean, look what we do with plastics.
Yeah.
The petroleum products that we use every day is just ridiculous. Yeah. You're right. It's got to stop.
It does. But look at what happened when the pipeline was hacked, right?
Yeah.
Look what happened.
Yeah.
And now we have this, and it's not the first time either. We've had shortages and price gouging because of it. And it's just this cycle that keeps going on and on and on. Car makers are doing stuff, but an electric vehicle right now, to get an electric vehicle is a giant pain in the butt.
I can only imagine.
I looked into it a little bit, and not even extensively, but it's like, if you don't put you have to put a power station in your house. And if you don't, you have to find one near you where you can power your car. Well, in North Carolina, I haven't seen one in my area yet. When we were up in New Jersey, I saw some, but here, none. So you have to
have one at your house.
You have to have one at your house. And then forget about actually driving anywhere overnight.
Yeah.
If I can go to Myrtle Beach and then drive back, how am I going to do that? There's no station to power my vehicle.
There's got to be something.
There's sure there is, something but you're going to have to drive to it to get to it. And then you have to sit
You're going to have to coordinate it. You're going to have to plot it out and coordinate it.
Exactly. So they're not exactly making this thing user friendly yet.
No, not at all.
So
it's not like you can carry extra batteries with you either.
Right. You can't
and swap them out.
Right. You can't. Right.
Oh, let me go get my other battery.
Yeah, my 50-pound battery that's in my back. Yeah.
Multiple batteries.
Yeah, it's not happening. So until this becomes like a nationwide effort, there's no real point for anybody who's got other responsibility. If you have a family that you have to take care of. I mean, that would be a thing. Or if they took that.
There's a roof.
Back in the day. Back in the day when this all started, like Nikola Tesla, there was a way to extract electricity out of the air. It was like a wireless network, right? He had this idea for it, and he proved it could happen. If they want to do that, where you're just recharging as you go because you're pulling it out of the air, I'm fine with that too. Sure. But if I have to input a station plug in my house, and then only go places where I know I can find another one,
right?
That's not going to happen.
It's a problem.
I'm not that kind of planner. I got other things that take precedence over this, unfortunately. Yeah. So until they make it user friendly, it's just not feasible.
I know. Weren't they trying to figure something out with like plant oil at one point too?
Well, there's the corn, the hot,
right.
flex fuel and
flex. That's it. Yeah. But they were just adding it.
Yeah, it's kind of like my truck is a hybrid where I can use that, but again, I'm still dependent on gas.
Yeah. That's the bottom line.
Because you can only put in flex fuel every so many times.
I don't know what the answer is, but if they can just ease up on the taxes, maybe it'll help us out to get through this crisis. That's all I can say.
Okay, my turn.
Okay, sounds good.
My G peeve is Godawful Endings to like TV shows and movies.
Godawful endings. Okay.
Godawful endings.
Okay, I'm ready.
We've been talking about this a little bit because I'm afraid of where Mrs. Maisel is headed. Yeah. And we talked about Friends having a great ending. So I was thinking about this, and just giving a couple examples of ones that I'm like, been let down with.
Okay.
The Avengers Endgame movie was the culmination of 10 Marvel movies that all kind of meshed together.
Okay.
So you're invested in all of these movies. You've spent money. You are emotionally invested in these characters. And then the end winds up being kind of a hokey mess of a battle with your favorite character dying and it not even making a whole lot of sense.
That stinks.
It stinks. It's like we started with Robert Downey Jr. being Iron Man and it ends with him. So there's a bit of, a symmetry to that. And it's a poetic kind of thing. And he delivers a great line with it. It all comes down to him. And so it was just kind of like, I felt very unfulfilled by the ending of Endgame. And another one that has been very controversial in the fandom generally was Game of Thrones. Yeah. And I know you didn't watch that much. I gave you a little bit of a rundown the other day about it, so you would know kind of where we were.
Yeah.
But if you haven't watched Game of Thrones and you want to, stop listening because Jon Snow gets banished to the north instead of sitting as derriere on the Iron Throne like he should have been. And it's a giant letdown after 8 seasons and tons of years of being invested in this character who sacrificed not only his life, but everything that he wanted to keep Westeros safe and to protect the people of it. And they just go ahead and after all of this, after everything that he's done, say, yeah, thanks a lot. You're banished.
Yeah. Again, stinks.
Yeah. Like what's that about? How can you do that to people who have spent years supporting you? Mm-hmm. How is that the send off you give? And how is that doing justice to these poor actors who have no choice but to do what you've written for them?
Yeah.
Kit Harington had some mental issues after Game of Thrones and everything he had to go through as Jon Snow. So, I mean, it affects them. It really does. And whatever your reason for it is, you have a responsibility when you take on a project, especially when it's material that has come from a novel. That writer had a vision for the way things were going to go. And you now have a responsibility to honor that writer. That's why we have so many film adaptations where people are like, this is terrible. Now, I know that you're going to lose something in the translation because the book has much more detail and you can only put so much stuff on a screen, right? I get it. But I'm going to give Peter Jackson as an example. He took Lord of the Rings, he made it into a trilogy. Not everything got put in there, obviously, but he did an incredible job at it. By and large, fans of the Lord of the Rings, the books, were very happy with this trilogy, with the way it ended. He did an incredible job and he gave years of his life to it, and his wife did too. So it can be done. It's just disappointing to see that so often it's not being done with TV shows like How I Met Your Mother. That ending was terrible. Yeah. It's just like, come on, people. If you're asking me to come along for this ride and care about it and be invested in it, give me a good payoff at the end. That's all I ask.
I've often thought about how they feel when they know that it's going bad, the actors. We've talked about that before. Here's a bad ending. Huh. How about when someone wakes up and it's a dream?
Oh, I know. That's so lazy.
That's a god-awful, god-awful ending. Yep.
It's so lazy. It's like, oh, really? Okay.
Yeah.
So nothing mattered then.
Yeah. Bob Newhart show.
Yeah.
Had that.
Jacob's Ladder had that too.
Yeah.
He was dying and the whole thing was a dream. It's like, oh, great. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Fantastic.
Didn't Dallas do that too? Weren't they the famous ones to do that? I believe so.
I don't know, but Roseanne did it when the original Roseanne series. It was not a dream, but it was just her imaginings, how she imagined it. The last couple seasons were like her writing it out. It wasn't real. It's like, oh, great.
Yeah.
Fantastic. Wonderful.
Okay, so we talked about Foo Fighters on our F episode. Mm-hmm. Now that we're on G, How about a little bit more about Dave Grohl?
Yeah. A couple more things just to kind of round that out, because we didn't want to take up the Foo Fighters time talking about him.
Even though he's just awesome.
He's awesome. He really is. So Dave Grohl grew up in Virginia. He worked a bunch of crappy jobs, and figured that he would do that and then play clubs at night. He was happy with that. He was okay with it. He didn't do well in school, and he couldn't have been less interested, So when the opportunity came along to tour with Scream, he was a senior in high school, and he was like, I don't want to fail another year and miss this opportunity. So his mom and his dad and his principal, they all had this conference, and they decided that he wasn't going to go to school anymore.
Right.
He went on tour with Scream. He did that.
And they were a bit older than him too.
Yeah. And he lied about his age to get in that band.
Yeah. I heard about that.
Yeah. And then they wound up being in LA. They did a world tour, and they wound up being in LA, and the band was kind of falling apart, and they were out of money. And he heard that Nirvana was looking for a drummer.
Right.
And his mom Western Unioned him $120 so he could fly to Seattle.
She's a good mom.
She's a good mom.
Yeah.
And he flew up to Seattle and immediately got the gig. And the rest is kind of history.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not just your typical drummer, like I had said. I mean, his guitar skills are phenomenal. If you actually watch him playing chords and playing the guitar, I mean, he's a hell of a guitarist.
Well, he learned first. He played guitar first.
Yes.
And then kind of got
learned by ear and learned by ear.
Yeah, he doesn't know how to read music.
No, that's funny.
And he took guitar lessons. I think 3 guitar lessons, and he was like it was like no. And he didn't want drum lessons either, so he's self-taught and everything. That's
awesome.
It's just a phenomenal musician.
Yeah.
He said Rush changed his life. Listen, that's the first time when he really noticed the drums, and he wanted to be a drummer. Listening to Neil Peart. He was just playing drums on his bed and some chairs. Like, he never had a drum kit at home.
Right.
He never had a drum kit until he started playing out, and he was playing other people's drums.
Yeah.
He didn't even know how to set them up.
I mean, you can really practice anywhere. That's a good thing about drums.
Yeah.
All you need is really sticks.
It's funny because he only took a couple drum lessons eventually. Right. And
you had said that.
Yeah. And the drum teacher told him he was holding his sticks backwards. And he was like, I am. And that's the way he drums. Yeah.
You mean backwards, like he had the tips in his hands?
Correct.
No.
Yeah.
I was watching an interview of him with some guy from the UK. And the guy asked him a really interesting question. And I was like really kind of impressed with this question. Said, do you have a song that you never finished? And he thought about it, and he said, yeah, I do. As a matter of fact, he had said that he had this one song and he just could not get it right. Tried. He tried it with the band, couldn't get it right. He actually gave it to another band and said, here's my song. Do what you can with it. There you go.
Yeah.
You know, how generous is that? And of course, the interviewer said, do you mind telling us what band it was? And he said, yeah, no.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
You know, not only generous, but classy.
Yeah. He's a great guy. Yeah. That's cool.
I thought that was really good. I mean, you watch some of these interviews and you just pick up on how down to earth he is.
Yeah. And he's doing it for the love of music. That's interesting because I was watching him talk about a lot of the musicians from his generation are making music because they have some kind of angst. They're angry or they're in pain.
Yeah, it's the grunge thing.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And he said, I don't play music because I'm angry at anybody. I effing love playing music, and that's his thing. So there is a generosity there because even though it's personal, he's not attached to it the same way. It's not cathartic for him. He's just doing it because he loves to do it rather than, it's his story playing out. That's another thing that when they started Foo Fighters, everybody kept asking him, is everything tied to Kurt Cobain? And it's like, no, I'm not. No. I'm not doing this because I'm in pain. I'm doing this because this is my calling. This is what I love to do.
Yeah. Did he mention anything about channeling anger into writing lyrics or anything like that?
No, he didn't get that
the
deep
writing
with it. Right.
okay.
Yeah.
Right.
I don't think so. I think that statement kind of covers it. It's just like it comes out the way it comes out. He likes heavy music, so he writes heavy music, you know. That just happens to be,
and he sings heavy music too.
Yeah, you know, because he loves that style, you know. He had said people were criticizing him for making Foo Fighters be like lots of guitars and heavy metal music, and he's like, what am I going to do, make a reggae record? This is what I do. I make heavy metal music, you know. So he's not trying to be somebody he's not.
Right.
It's just inherent in him.
Yeah, he's got a whole bunch of styles, you know, with his music. I mean, I can hear some alternative, I hear hard rock, heavy metal, of course, you know, but I can, you know, I can hear a couple different genres.
Sure. He's, the one person
well-rounded.
The one person that he wanted to meet was Little Richard. That was his like one person that he wanted to meet. Yeah. And he got to meet him in a very unlikely situation, but Little Richard was in a limo and came over and rolled down the window, and he was all like starstruck over that, because
like a little kid, I'm
like
sure.
a little kid, you know. He was in awe of him, and he was very well known by the time this happened, so it's not like he was very green or anything, but he said, okay, that's good, because he started everything, Little Richard, and he understood that, you know. So he's got a very varied, he loves music. He just loves music. Yeah. So he's got lots of influences, a very wide catalog that he draws from.
Sure.
He's got a reputation for being the nicest guy in rock and roll. Yeah. And you see that in so many ways. I remember watching one of the documentaries, and he's in there, he's got a studio in a house, and he's playing guitar. He's playing his guitar part. And his little girl Violet comes in.
Oh yeah, I know this story.
Yeah. And she's poking him in the shoulder, poking him.
Yeah.
And he turns and looks at him. She's like, Daddy, you promised me we would go swimming. And he's like, okay, give me a minute. And he finishes, and then they go swimming.
And they go, right? Yeah.
And then he comes, you know, they come back in. She wasn't banned, you know, down to earth. She wasn't banned.
Easy going.
Yep. Perturbed by it. He was just like, okay, I did. So let me just finish this thing, and then we'll go.
Right. I know about a couple of stories about him leaving these very generous tips too. So he's not afraid of, you know, helping people out. Let's put it that way. Yeah. But just that seems to be the type of guy.
Yeah. Just a great guy. He's comfortable, Dave Grohl, with everybody. His mom, Virginia, had written a book called Cradle to Stage. I love that book. I have it. But they also made a little series of it. Okay. And they picked like 8 stories from there, and they were talking about it. And, you know, he's as comfortable with Pharrell Williams's family as he is with like Miranda Lambert's family.
Well, that's part of the interviews that his mother did for the book.
Yes. And or Geddy Lee, you know. So I mean, he's got this huge kind of range of people that he just fits right in, and he's like the part of their family, like instantly.
I saw them on an interview with Stephen Colbert. You could see how close the mother and son relationship is. As a matter of fact, she went on tour with them when he was young. You know, she jumped along.
I think she's gone a couple times, because they do a family style now, especially, you know, with all the children and everything. They have those big RVs and stuff, and she's a part of it. She's always been a part of it. She supported him dropping out of school and going on tour with Scream when he was 17 years old, doing a European tour when everybody else was going, are you out of your mind? And she's like, what? The kid,
she was a school teacher.
Yeah. You know, and it's like, the kid hates school. He's failing school. So what am I going to do? Make him stay here and fail another year, or let him take this amazing opportunity? So it really started with her noticing that he had this amazing gift and allowing him to pursue it.
Yeah.
Awesome.
I love the cover of that book too.
It's great.
Yeah, isn't it? There's a lot of pictures of him and his mom online. You know, even when he was little. Yeah. They're
really close. He lived with his mom. His parents divorced, and he lived with his mom. Having somebody who supports you in life and the things that your heart tells you that you want to do opens the door to having a bond that you might not otherwise have. When I was watching the Cradle to Stage series, the Miranda Lambert one, her mother said, the best piece of advice she ever got was at a baby shower. And the note said, raise your child according to its bend, BEND, basically whatever their heart wants to do, raise them according to that. And I think Virginia Grohl, she just did that.
Yeah.
And it made such a difference in her kid's life. And they're very close even to this day. So take note, parents, if you want good relationships with your kids, pay attention to them.
Yeah. Yeah. And be flexible. Bend.
Yeah, support them in what their heart
That's a good word. Bend.
Yeah, bend.
Yeah. Okay, let's do some movies. You ready?
Yes.
Me first?
Yes.
Okay. My G movie, which is one of my very, very favorite movies, is Galaxy Quest.
Love that movie.
Love it. Never give up, never surrender. I say that all the time.
Never Surrender was a Galaxy Quest documentary that they had made.
Uh-huh.
And in the beginning, it has some words when they first open. And it says, in 2007, Pulitzer Prize winner David Mamet wrote a book on Hollywood. In it, he listed only 4 perfect films: The Godfather, A Place in the Sun, Dodsworth, and Galaxy Quest.
Awesome.
Isn't it?
You know, a lot of people consider this one of the best or the best sci-fi movie.
Absolutely. They say that it was the best Star Trek movie ever made.
Yes. Yes. I heard that too.
Yeah.
Sigourney Weaver is one of my favorite actresses.
I agree.
She was awesome in it. And of course, Tim Allen, he was just perfect.
Yeah.
He was perfect.
Yeah.
He almost did not take the role. He almost starred in Bicentennial Man instead.
That would have been a mistake.
Big mistake.
Yeah.
And in fact, the director at the time, who was Harold Ramis, wanted Kevin Kline.
That's right.
DreamWorks insisted on Tim Allen.
And they were right to do so.
And they really were.
Yes.
So they got a new director and went on from there.
Yeah, thank goodness they did.
Yeah, I know. I know.
And
I know it stars one of your most favorite actors.
Most favorite. Yeah, Alan Rickman. Yeah.
Yeah. He was so good.
So good. By Grabthar's hammer. What a savings.
You shall be avenged.
Yes.
That was almost very touching towards the end, where that one guy dies.
Quellic. Yeah, he does a very moving rendition of his catchphrase.
Yeah.
But it's great in the beginning where he's like, I played Richard III. There were 5 curtain calls. What am I doing with my life?
Yeah. They had thought about making him a sir in the movie.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That would have been awesome.
Yeah, that he was going to be Sir Alexander Dane. They thought about that. Yeah.
Dr. Lazarus.
Dr. Lazarus.
Yeah.
I know.
He was so good. He was so good.
Yeah.
You know, he and Tim Allen didn't get along at first.
I heard that too.
Yeah. But by the end, they did.
Kind of like in the movie.
Yeah.
How about Tony Shalhoub?
Oh,
he was going to be Guy.
Oh, really?
And then they casted Sam Rockwell and made him Fred, he was
perfect.
Fred was like my favorite character.
He was so good. He was so good.
When they went to another planet to go get that beryllium sphere.
Yeah.
And he opens the door and Guy says to him,
you don't know that there's air.
and Guy holds his breath and then Tony Shalhoub goes, I think it's okay. It's too funny. That's probably that whole sequence there. And then Tim Allen does the forward rolls. And it's like, is that helping you? That whole sequence. I love that.
It's so good.
That's probably my favorite in the whole movie.
It's so good. And especially like when Tony Shalhoub is like he's eating all the time. And he's like gleeful when he's eating, and like Guy is freaking out.
And he's just calm.
Yeah. When they hit the turbo button and held it down.
Yes.
And from the engine room, he's like, hey, the guys down here said you shouldn't do that. It's not good for the engines or something. Yeah. Just FYI.
Yeah. Love it.
Oh, good.
I know. That whole sequence, like when Rickman says to Tim Allen, when he's fighting the Rock, he's find its motivation. It's like, really? It wants to kill me.
And when he comes back, he's like, and you found a way to get your shirt off,
Yeah. Yeah.
The whole thing is really good. There are so many little gems in that movie. And even what's funny is watching when other characters are in the scene, but they're not the main focus of the scene. Just watching them watch the scene is hilarious because just the facial expressions and the things that they're doing.
Yeah.
And like when Sigourney Weaver gets mad because she's like, I have one job on this ship. It's stupid, but I'm going to do it. And then everybody's like, okay. Fine.
Or when she goes, hold, please. Oh, man.
It's so good. Everything about that movie is good.
There's one other part with Sigourney Weaver that she actually said the F word.
Yeah.
And they took it out to make it kid friendly.
Yeah.
Like when they were about to go into the choppers. Yeah. And you can see it. She actually says the
I
F
know.
word.
I love that. And then she said, screw this. And it's like, no, that's not what you said.
That's not what came out of that mouth. No, I know. Never give up, never surrender. I love it.
That's one of those like Easter egg moments that everybody looks for when they watch that movie. The name of the ship, the Protector, on it has NTE on it.
I know what that stands for.
So it's not the Enterprise.
Yep, exactly. Yeah. That was good.
It was such a good
It's the little things. The little
things. And like Justin Long's character, when Tim Allen's character contacts him and is like, I need your help. And he's like, I'm not delusional. I know it's just a TV show. And then he's like, it's real. And he's like, I knew it. And then he's trying to help him, and the ship is counting down. Yeah, he's got to take out the garbage. So
oh my God. I know.
It's so good. It's such a good movie.
It's excellent. Yep.
That's one of those movies that you can just watch over and over, like once a year. I do the same thing because it's just so good.
If I'm flipping the channels, and even if it's already halfway through, I'll finish watching it.
It's so good.
Love it. Termites.
Dalmatians.
So funny.
Okay. So my favorite movie is Grease. Like Grease is the word, with John Travolta, Dame Olivia Newton-John. She is the Dame.
Sure.
Jeff Conaway, Stockard Channing. This movie was made in like 1978, and it was the highest grossing movie of that year.
It was big.
It was very big.
Yeah.
And it came out in the same year of Saturday Night Fever. So this was high John Travolta era.
Hot.
Yes, he was.
Yep. Welcome back, Kotter.
Oh, yeah. And
welcome back, Kotter, to this. Yeah.
He actually honored his contract for Welcome Back, Kotter, even though he had these two huge movies out. He went back, and he wasn't in very many episodes, but he played out his contract. He didn't try and get out of it. So that was cool.
Kudos to him.
Yeah.
He was born in New Jersey,
He was. Yeah, I know.
Englewood.
So I know you haven't seen this movie that many times. I've
only seen it once. I was in the play.
Right.
But when you're in the play, you're not following the whole thing. You're just waiting for your part to come up, and that's it. And that's a long time ago.
Well, the play was different than the movie anyway. But John Travolta played Duty in the play lots of times. He was Duty. But anyway, he was Danny in the movie, Danny Zuko, the leader of the T-Birds.
Yep.
And he was super cute in this movie. He had his hair dyed blue black like Elvis for this movie, because that's what he felt was the right thing to do. And it was the right thing to do.
I think so too.
I mean, he looked amazing. Jeff Conaway really gave Stockard Channing the hickeys in this one part in the movie.
Really?
Yeah, she's like, I have so many hickeys, I'm beginning to look like a leper. And he says a hickey from Kinnicky is like a Hallmark card.
Oh my God.
Well, he insisted on giving her those hickeys. So those are real hickeys that Jeff Conaway gave her. I know. Isn't that crazy?
It is. And of course, we remember him from Taxi.
He was great in Taxi.
I know. Love that show.
Love it. Yeah. So the theme song for Grease was written by Barry Gibb of the Bee Gees. And of course, Staying Alive was in Saturday Night Fever.
Right.
So there was some correlation there.
Yeah. You know about the character Sandy, right? that they were going to, there was a couple other actresses that they were talking about doing.
Yeah.
Carrie Fisher.
Yeah, but that would
Olivia
have been right.
Olivia
She was right.
Newton-John.
Yeah.
Oh, she was gorgeous.
She was. She didn't look like she was 17,
no.
but she was great for it.
Well, and neither did John Travolta for that matter.
No, but he was closer. He was only 23. She was 28 at the time.
Yeah.
Jeff Conaway was 26. Stockard Channing was 33.
Yeah, she was. I think she was the senior of everybody, right?
She was. Yeah. Olivia Newton-John was sewn into those black pants at the end because the zipper broke. So she was sewn into them.
Oh, that's funny.
Over like a 3-day period. It was like 106 degrees outside.
Oh,
and she's in these like black, like spandex leather pants.
Right.
And they had to, the people were passing out left and right at the end because it was so hot. And she had to manage how much she drank because every time she had to go to the bathroom, they had to cut her out of the pants and then re-sew her back in.
Oh my God.
So she had to be careful. She couldn't eat or drink too much. And it was that hot out. I know.
Wow.
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah.
Chewed about 100,000 pieces of bubble gum during the shoot. Up to 5,000 pieces a day. Isn't that nuts?
Wow. You know, there's a point with gum that you just gotta put a new piece in.
Yeah. Well, I mean, them chewing gum was a big deal. So
of course.
You know,
of course.
All the cast was doing it.
Time out, new gum.
I know. I need a new piece.
Yeah.
And in 2020, the film was selected for preservation in the National Film Registry by the Library of Congress as being culturally, historically, or aesthetically significant. So it's in there now. Yeah.
Awesome.
Grease is the word.
Grease is the word.
Mm-hmm.
I think I like that song the best.
Well, it was a great song. It wasn't in keeping of the 50s. I mean, it was done in the 70s style, but it was so good that they kept it in.
Yeah. Well, Frankie Valli's, it's good. And how about the Teen Angel part? Well, obviously it was Frankie Avalon, but originally it was supposed to be Elvis.
Was it really?
Yeah, and he died. They had, I think, Donny Osmond was another one that they had thought about.
He would have been good.
Yeah,
he would have been good.
Sure. I think Frankie Avalon did a great job.
I think so too. I think he was right. I think he was right for that part.
I think so too.
I've been watching this movie like my whole life. It came out in 1978, so I was really small the first time I saw it, but I just grew up watching this movie. I mean, I wanted to be a pink lady, you know. I did. And I loved the Rizzo part because I thought she had the best songs to sing, and they were kind of in my range, but there, you know, There Are Worse Things I Could Do is a great song. I like that song
too. Yeah.
But what struck me the older I got and the more I watched it was the changes that occur in the characters during the film. In the beginning, when you see Danny and the T-Birds and the guys and everything, John Travolta in that first opening scene, when he turns around, he's so hot. It's ridiculous. He looks so good. It's unbelievable. In the beginning, you got to be cool at all costs. You know, it's like, be cool, huh? No matter what you're doing, you got to be cool, and you can't be vulnerable. And that's one of the things that is an obstacle between him and Sandy getting together, is that he has to maintain this cool guy image. You know, he can't really be himself, or he can't show how much he really wants to be with her. Isn't that stupid? I mean, it's so stupid,
you know, it was a thing back then. You had to be cool.
You had to be cool. And in order for him to have this relationship with her, he comes to the realization that he's got to drop some of that. He's got to do something else to be able to get with her, right?
Yeah.
So he starts trying out for all these jock positions, you know, and they're not working out well. Do you remember when he was playing basketball and he was like punching the guy trying to take the ball away from him and everything?
Not good.
Not good.
No.
But he winds up lettering in track, and the rest of the T-Birds are making fun of him for it. You know, they're like, who'd you steal that Letterman's jacket off of? You know, and it's a vulnerable space that he's like, look I want to be with her, and I'm going to do whatever that takes.
Yeah. Something to be said about that.
There's something to be said, right?
Yeah.
But she does the exact same thing. She's
I
like,
know.
you know, I'm miserable doing this. I want to be with him. And so I have to change something about me. I have to meet him halfway. And she drops some of that goody
2 shoes.
Yeah.
Start smoking.
Yeah, I don't know if she'll ever really smoke, but she does it just to like, prove to him that she's pink ladied herself up. And, she's a knockout that way. And she does. She knocks him off his feet, basically. So it's like, it's showing you that in order to be in a relationship, you have to grow beyond what you find to be safe. Your safe zone, your comfortable zone.
You gotta meet people halfway.
You do. You have to compromise. You got to meet them halfway. I mean, even Rizzo and Kaniki did that. They stopped playing the stupid games with each other, and they decided they wanted to be together. And so they were vulnerable with each other, and they decided to be together, and they were happier for it. So it's interesting. When I was a kid, I just liked the songs, and I thought John Travolta was awesome, and the Pink Ladies were cool, and all that. And then as you grow up and you get a little bit more perspective and insight about what's going on, like Grease is actually more than just a little bit of fluff. Like it actually has some meaning to it.
Yeah. Where would you rate that in your top 10 bunch of movies? Is it in your top 10 or?
It's probably pretty high up. I would say it's probably 5.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, because it's been a recurring my whole life, so it's got a space in it. And every time I watch it, even now when I watch it, it makes me feel good. I like it. Not that I agree with everything that's in it, of course, but I understand where the movie is. I'm taking it for what it is. I'm not trying to make it be something it's not. So I still have fun when I watch it. I still sing the songs. I still think Danny's hot. I still think Sandy did the right thing. So I would say, it's probably like 5, number 5 for me.
All right, cool.
Plus, I used to have that soundtrack in my car. There's a great soundtrack. There's even more songs on the soundtrack than there was in the movie, because they did this, like Freddie My Love from the play. They put that on the soundtrack as well.
Did they? I'm sure they put Sandra Day, right? Has to be. That's a big song.
Yeah.
Do you remember the hand jive?
Of course.
Remember how to do it?
Yes.
You remember how to do it, right?
Yeah, I've been watching this movie my whole life. Of course I know how to do the hand jive.
It's the first thing I thought of when you told me that you were going to talk about Grease. I'm like, hand jive. Of course. Grease Lightning.
Grease Lightning. He stole that song. Kaneki was supposed to sing that song. John Travolta.
Kidding.
Yeah, John Travolta stole that song from him.
These little tidbits. How about that?
I know.
Yeah, I had no idea. He did it so well, though.
He really did. He really did.
Liked
it was very good. We go together at the end. You're the one that I want, I mean, that's a great song. Summer Nights, they're all good. I remember the first time I really listened to Summer Nights as like a semi-coherent adult. And listening to that note that John Travolta hits at the end, I'm like, holy crap, that's really high.
For a guy,
yeah,
for a tenor,
for a guy, it's good stuff.
Well, it's been a couple of days now, and I still can't get used to this spring ahead time. I'm tired.
I know. It's just so difficult to lose that hour.
Yeah, I mean, I wish they would stop. Stop. You're killing us.
Maybe by next week we'll be.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah,
for sure. But in the meantime, I can't make up that 1 hour.
I know.
Yeah, it's just the weirdest thing.
I know.
So anyway, all right, you ready to wrap this thing up?
Yeah, let's do that.
Okay. We appreciate you listening. With that, we're out of here.
Thank you very much. We'll see you next week.